Hi, welcome to Derek Does. Today, we're gonna do this. Hi, welcome back to another Derek Does. I'm Derek, and if you're new here, please subscribe. Have any questions later on, put them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Or if I can't, maybe somebody who is watching this can also reply and help you out with those things. Today, we're gonna be doing something, this is something I picked up. Again, you know I like old vintage stereo equipment. As obvious, this is my downstairs basement stereo. And I've already shown you this Technics and the Technics record player and my records and that sort of thing. But I picked up this 8-track player. This is a Panasonic, it's kind of a small portable one in a way. It's a Panasonic RS-802US. And this little guy, I picked him up at the thrift store. I found him, he wasn't much. And I wanted to see if it would work, but I had one 8-track tape and I've lost it and I don't know where it is. I don't listen to 8-tracks and I never collected them or had anything. So I had to wait until 8-track showed up at a thrift store. And luckily I've been checking this thrift store. I know they usually have 8-tracks and they haven't for a long time. And they finally did. So I got this, I was going through them and a lot of them are country stuff, but they did have a Sinatra, a swingin' affair. So I finally was able to test my 8-track player to see if it worked. And so I plugged it in. It's very straightforward in plugging it in. And I put in the cassette tape or the 8-track tape and it went, it was just that. It was like you couldn't hear anything. It didn't, I thought it was dead. So what I did is I did a cleaning on it. And I wish I had recorded it for you guys, but it's kind of easy to do. So if you ever find an old 8-track player, I'll show you where to clean it. So I cleaned it and I cleaned it and I cleaned it, and every time either I was using a Q-tip swab or eventually I was just taking paper towels, wrapping it to a screwdriver, dipping it in alcohol and turning the wheel by itself. And eventually it came out where it wasn't black anymore because it was so black with stuff. And now when I put in a 8-track, let's turn it on. I have it in my tape 1, which I have it plugged into, and you will see it works and it sounds pretty good. And you can change different ways as you go. You have 4 choices. So if an 8-track is new to you, I'm going to try to explain a little bit in layman terms how it works. So an 8-track tape are these big, they actually look like old computer cartridges from the 80s. This one's probably from the 70s, I would assume. It's not dated. It's from Capitol, so it's not like from one of those clubs you would get it from. 8-tracks came out kind of in the mid-60s. I think Ford was the first company to actually offer an 8-track player in a car. And 8-tracks were the king of how you listen to music up until about 79, 80. And then cassettes came out really and just obliterated these things. Cassettes and 8-tracks are very, very similar. Now cassettes would be like that size. Everyone knows what a cassette tape is and the size of everything. An 8-track is a continuous player. So the tape is continuously turning. Where an 8-track, we get to the end and then you have to take it out, flip it, and play the other side. So it had 2 sides. Basically, it's like 2 layers. An 8-track has like 4 layers. And what you do, so you have 4, and I'll show you the close-ups on this particular model. All the models are similar. Sometimes these are built into a stereo system. I would probably not want to go that route because then you're stuck with the 8-track, where if you go with a higher end stereo, you can get it just as, this is just record, or just a AM/FM amplifier. And you can plug, I have, I can, that's for, radio. You can change your tape. I have 2 tapes. I have record. I can all change that around. But if you buy the one all together, either if you have space and you have space issues, then go that route. But otherwise, I would probably avoid it because then it's just going to be this big piece of hardware that you're never going to use. These are kind of cool. You can put it out, have fun with it. If you find an old 8-track, you can listen to it. But how it works is it goes in, and so it will play the one side, and then there's actually And I'll show you on the inside. There's actually I don't know all the technical terms. I'm sure you guys can put it down below if you're really into that sort of thing. And it'll actually change the layers of the tape. So they'll play the top, the second, the third, and the fourth as you put it in there. And to pull it out, there is no eject. You just yank it out. So that's how it works. Like a cassette player, you wouldn't. You would have to like slide it in, close the thing, and then you hit eject and it comes out. And that's because it unwinds everything. A cassette player is different, the mechanism, how it plays. This is a very crude system where a cassette player is kind of like a mini reel-to-reel, and this one isn't really that. It's more of just, it pushes against it. All the turning and everything happens inside the unit, not in this unit. So again, you just put it in and it starts playing. There's a little bit of as it comes in, and if you want to change it, you can change through each of your things, but you can't rewind, you can't fast forward. You can just play your 8 tracks. So that's kind of like where cassettes really came in. Is like, oh, I really like that song, I want to listen to it again. You can rewind it, play it again. This one you can't do that. So without further ado, let me give you some close-ups of this, and you can kind of see just the size of it. And I'll kind of point out how things work and how to clean one of these a little bit too if you get them, because I know if you get one, it's going to need cleaning because it's probably was used for 10 years and then stopped kind of working and the guy put it away and then it sat on a shelf for 30 years. I got lucky with this one. Everything works on it, which is actually kind of rare. I think these things wear out. Like the inside capacitors and things like that kind of go and they need, the lights go out and everything. This one works great. And it actually kind of looks kind of nice too. But anyway, I'll show you this and it's kind of cool. So here's the actual 8-track player itself. Luckily, it comes with this incredibly long cable system. So I'm able to do this to show you and it can put it down. It comes with this fake wood plastic top, but it's actually kind of nice. You know, it's not terrible. It's not black plastic or anything like that. They do have chrome plastic plated also around it. And here you can see it's the Panasonic. This, I don't understand what that is for sure, but these are your tracks. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your program selector. Guys, those are your programs, not your tracks. And then on the inside, this is what an inside of an 8-track player looks like. Now the thing you need to clean is right back there. There's a turning spindle that just gets coated with everything. So you want to make sure that gets clean so it can move and turn everything, and you want to clean there because that's the actual player there. But as it goes in, there's a little button here that gets pushed to the side so it knows that there's a tape in it. So when you get your tape, all you do, make sure that, I guess it's that way. Is it that way? Yeah. It just pushes in and plays, and as you change your tracks, it goes through each one. Oh, that fourth one, there it lights up. I knew it lit up, it just didn't light up at that time. So that's what an 8-track looks like. Similar to a cassette, but it's not. Much wider and much longer. It's just one continuous reel that winds up in there and then goes into that. Now on the back side, let's turn this around. Hopefully I have enough. There's really nothing going on there. It's just your AC and your line out. And on the back end, you've got a fan there. There's a wheel here that turns, and that turns the spindle that makes it go. And there's even the original guy's name and social on there. All right. Because people used to do that back in the day. But this is the Panasonic RS-802US. So obviously there's probably a foreign models, but this was the US model, probably because of the plug, you know, and maybe the UK and Europe had their own. But this is it. It's kind of a neat throwback timepiece. I don't know if everyone needs one, but they're cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of 8-tracks. It's just kind of like, if you're not used to them, if you didn't grow up with them, this is what they are. Everyone kind of knows what records are, I guess, for the most part, because they've come back. And cassette tapes, most people know what cassette tapes are, but 8-track is kind of like that. It's almost like 78s in the record world. A lot of guys don't know what a 78 is because it had died long ago before 33 and the thirds came out and 45. So, but this is an 8-track, and they're easy to find, really. If you go to thrift stores or estate sales a lot, you will find one. They're not rare by any means. Now, they are rare if they work. That's the thing. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next Derek Does. Thanks for watching.